By the middle of the 1988 season, the pattern was impossible to ignore. Audi's 200 Quattro wasn't just winning, it was winning by margins that made the rest of the field look like they were competing in a different category entirely. Rival teams had spent the season chasing a car that combined a turbocharged 5-cylinder engine with an all-wheel drive system nobody else had. Now, Trans Am's officials decided the rulebook itself needed to change. The first tool officials reached for was weight. Trans Am's technical administrator added ballast to the Audi, extra weight bolted into the car specifically to slow it down, without changing anything about rival cars. Reports from the period describe an initial penalty in the range of 50 kilograms, roughly 110 pounds, added directly to the 200 Quattro. When that wasn't enough to close the gap, the penalty was increased further, up toward 100 kilograms, more than 200 pounds, a substantial amount of dead weight for any race car to carry lap after lap. Weight wasn't the only lever officials pulled. They also targeted the turbocharged engine directly, narrowing the air restrictor Audi's 5-cylinder was allowed to breathe through. A smaller restrictor limits how much air a turbocharged engine can force into its cylinders, directly capping the power it can produce, regardless of how well engineered the turbo system is. It was a way to attack the engine's advantage at its source, without banning turbocharging outright. Officials went further still, narrowing the tires Audi was permitted to run. Smaller, narrower tires mean less rubber in contact with the road, which should, in theory, mean less available grip, undercutting exactly the kind of cornering advantage that Quattro's all-wheel drive system had been delivering all season. Combined with the added weight in the restricted engine, this represented a genuinely serious, multi-pronged effort to bring the Audi 200 Quattro back down to the level of the rest of the field. For a brief stretch, it worked. Audi's dominant win streak came to an end, and the team dropped as low as fourth place in one race, a result that would have looked completely ordinary from any other team, but stood out sharply against Audi's earlier form. Rival teams and drivers had, for the first time all season, reason to believe the fight might actually be competitive again. It didn't last. Despite carrying extra weight, a smaller air restrictor, and narrower tires all at once, the Audi 200 Quattro won again at Mid-Ohio. Then came a second-place finish at Road America, another fourth place, and finally, a win to close out the season at St. Petersburg. Across all 13 races that season, Audi had won 8 of them, even after absorbing nearly every penalty the series could reasonably apply. The message that sent through American motorsport was hard to misread. This wasn't a car winning because of one clever trick that a well-aimed rule change could neutralize. The combination of turbocharged power and all-wheel drive traction was fundamentally, structurally more effective than anything built on top of 2 driven wheels, no matter how much weight, restriction, or handicap officials layered on top of it. And that realization was about to force Trans Am into a decision far more drastic than any mid-season penalty.